Go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our 10th Ask Me Anything live video series. If you missed the ninth Ask Me Anything on COVID-19 and the future of DACA, you can still see it on Highest Pennsylvania's YouTube page, on our website, www.highestpa.org, and in the video section of Highest Pennsylvania's Facebook page. My name is Catherine Miller Wilson, and I'm the Executive Director of Highest Pennsylvania, a nonprofit whose mission is to provide legal and social services to immigrants and refugees. Today, our conversation will focus on immigrants as job creators. In 2017, about 3.2 million immigrants ran their own businesses, making up 1 in every 5 entrepreneurs in the country. These businesses employed almost 8 million American workers and generated $1.3 trillion in total sales. Also, more than 43,000 DACA-eligible residents were entrepreneurs in 2017, providing jobs for American workers and supporting local economies. Immigrants are nearly twice as likely to become entrepreneurs as their American-born counterparts. So as the United States starts to talk about cautiously reopening, we have to really remind ourselves what is going to make sense for our recovery. It is absolutely clear from all of the evidence gathered both by our federal and state governments as well as independent research centers that supporting immigrant businesses is one of the major ways to restart our economy. So thank you to everyone who has submitted questions already. We're excited for our conversation today. If you haven't already done so, please submit any questions you have during the next half hour in the comments section below. If we don't get to them during this live conversation, we'll answer them in the comments. We'd also always love to hear your ideas on topics for future videos. We hope that through this video series, you can ask any questions you have and learn the truth about immigration and refugee resettlement in the United States. Today, I am really excited to be speaking with Yesenia Guillen, one of our 2020 Golden Door Award honorees, a former Highest Pennsylvania client and the owner of her own business, Bilingual Butterflies, about what it means to own a business as an immigrant. Welcome, Yesenia.
Thank you so much for having me today. Yes, I am the owner of a small business here in Philadelphia. It's called Bilingual Butterflies, and I am very happy to be here.
Great. We're happy to have you. So I want to start with a question from me. What was it like for you growing up undocumented, and how did you envision your future?
Well, growing up was challenging to say the least. I come from a very big family. It was it wasn't really clear to me that I was undocumented until later on. I think I might have been like a teenager at that point. I would hear my family talking about it and discussing it, and I saw like some of the issues that they had, but I didn't quite understand it. It just wasn't that important to me at the time I was a kid. Um, I think the first time I really realized the severity of it was I was in school. My mom used to work at a chicken factory, and she was a single mom at that time. It was early in the morning. I had just gotten to school, and one of my friends came up to me and said, "Hey, I just found out that your mom is being held by ICE." And I think I was in, I want to say either fifth or sixth grade. So, as you can imagine, it was really scary for me. I tried to play it cool because that's what you do when you're that age. But I knew that it was bad, and I was really nervous. I didn't know what to do, and I think at that point is when it really hit me, like, oh wow, like my mom can be taken away from me because she's undocumented. So it was challenging.
Yeah.
hmm
How did your situation affect your decision to start a business?
Well, I was undocumented for most of my life. I just received my green card last year. Um, and I started Bilingual Butterflies in 2015. But prior to that, I had already been teaching Spanish to kids here in Philadelphia. What made me want to start my business was I've always been really motivated, and part of that motivation comes from being undocumented. Always being told, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, because you just can't. You're undocumented. You're not allowed to do certain things. You can't drive. You can't get the job that you want. You can't go to the school that you want to go to. So I always felt like I was constantly being told no. And so for me, I am very ambitious. And I think it hit me one day and was like, I think I thought about it. I said, well, you know what? I may not be able to do the things that I really want to do, but here's this opportunity for me to share something that I know very well, and that is Spanish, of course. Share it with other people, and they're willing to pay me for it. And so that's what motivated me to start Bilingual Butterflies.
That's great.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about Bilingual Butterflies? Who does your business serve? How many staff and clients would you say you've had over the years?
Sure. So over the years, we've probably had over 15 um, teachers that work for us. Most of them are women, and most of our teachers, we really try to hire native Spanish speakers, so they are immigrants themselves. That makes me really proud because I like the feeling of being able um, to somehow like help someone else, like providing for them almost in a way. And so, yeah, so we've had about 15 teachers. Right now we have 9. So our clients they're all different. We have a very large percentage that is American, like the American group where the parents don't speak Spanish, but they realize the importance of learning a second language. And so they really want their kids to learn the language, and so they bring them to us. So that's like one group. But then we also have another group where of Hispanic Americans that somehow they just didn't teach their kids Spanish, even though they speak it. They didn't really teach their kids, and so they also come to us for help in that way. So we kind of have like multiple groups of people, but it's mostly kids. That's our specialty. Kids 3 and up.
That's really neat.
Yeah,
So I realize this question will sound a little odd in this COVID-19 moment, but
yeah.
pre-pandemic, was it individual tutoring or classroom time? What, or both?
Pre-pandemic. So we actually we have in-person classes. We didn't have any online classes prior to COVID. We do private lessons where we visit their homes, but most of our classes take place in a building in South Philly. And also, another big part of our business is our partnerships. We partner up with local schools to provide their Spanish instruction for kids K to 8.
That's terrific.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. So we basically send teachers to schools to teach Spanish.
And how do people find out about you? Where do you do outreach, or how does the referral
Well,
process work? Mhm.
yeah, so in the beginning, we did do a lot of outreach. We were visiting in the beginning, I really wanted to capture the Hispanic community's attention, I guess, and have them be part of what we were trying to do. Our goal has always been to basically to teach their kids Spanish, because a lot of them are forgetting it, or they're just for some reason they're just not teaching their kids. They're busy, they have jobs, it's totally understandable. Their kids go to school here and they learn English, and then Spanish is kind of put on the back burner. So that was one of my goals because growing up, I also had a similar problem. We spoke Spanish at home, but in school it was all English. And so when me and my sisters would go home, we would attempt to speak only in English too, but my parents would quickly tell us no. And I think I'm so happy that they did that because otherwise I probably wouldn't know as much Espanol as I do now.
Hmm.
Um, so so yeah, so we did do a lot of outreach then. We would partner up with like libraries and different talleres here in Philadelphia that cater to Hispanics. But now it's mostly word of mouth, and also we do have a website, and of course social media.
Great. And the website, just for our listeners, I think is posted on our Facebook page. Um, and we did get a couple of questions. A question from Jill Stein. She wanted to know, what is something you'd want to tell undocumented children about being an entrepreneur?
About being an entrepreneur, well, I would want to tell them that it does give you a lot of freedom. It's fun because you get to be creative. You get to do almost whatever it is that you want to do. And I would also tell them, if they have a goal of being an entrepreneur, if it's even just an idea, to go ahead and explore it and not let others tell them no. So that's something I would tell them.
The no saying no. I hear that as a theme.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I'm a big believer in that myself. So another question from a listener, where does the name Bilingual Butterflies come from? It's beautiful alliteration.
Thank you. Bilingual butterflies. I think I came up with that name because the monarch butterfly, like the whole thing with that, how it travels to Mexico and then it comes back, it migrates. So I just thought that was a cool story. And also, I am from Michoacan, Mexico, and Morelia is the capital there, and that is the home of that butterfly. So that was one of the reasons for bilingual butterflies.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
So now we have to get to the present. So what has changed with COVID-19? How are you coping, and what's happening? Is your business open, or what's the story?
Yeah, COVID has been crazy for all of us, I think.
Yes, very much
Yeah,
so.
it's brought so many challenges, but I'm not afraid of challenges. It's something that I've faced all my life. So it feels okay to me. It
Hmm.
feels okay. It feels normal. We've had to take our business from, of course, in-person classes to now online classes. We tried to do that as soon as we got a whiff of the COVID situation. It was very challenging in the beginning, but we did it. We are now online. We're offering most of our programs online. Even our school partnerships, we've managed to get them online as well.
That's
Um,
terrific.
yeah, so it's changed our business, but I feel like it's also been a really big opportunity. I mean, I didn't really ever imagine doing everything online, and now I'm like, hey, you know what? This is not so bad, and it just brings so many new things, and we're able to accept clients from all over the world. It's not just people here in Philadelphia anymore.
Wow, that's really great. Great to hear. It's inspiring in a moment when we need inspiration. So a listener, Chris Windover, asks, what were your biggest challenges in developing your business as an undocumented person? And how has being documented changed that experience?
The biggest challenges to develop my business as an undocumented immigrant. Oh, they were big challenges. I mean, I was illegal when I started Bilingual Butterflies. Not only was I super scared of doing it, but I mean, there were real like consequences. So to me, I think the biggest challenge was just going for it. Was just going for it. It's just deciding, making that final decision and saying, you know what? I'm going to do this. And if I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks, what anyone says. I'm just gonna go for it. And whatever happens, happens. So I definitely had my share of challenges when I started Bilingual Butterflies, but I'm so happy that I did because
Hmm.
if I would have never done that, I really don't know where I'd be today.
That's great. And then how has being documented changed the whole experience of being a business owner and running a business?
Well, you know what? I was already doing a lot of the things that I guess I've been doing ever since I became documented. But it was always a dream of mine to be documented, to have some, some type of document that says, "Hey, you can actually be here. You're allowed to be here now." So that's just been almost like a weight off my shoulders. Um, More than anything, it's been like a really like a personal experience for me. It really didn't change my business much, but I think it did give me it just provided relief, and it offered me um, I'm not really sure. I mean, it just made me feel good, which I think we all like to feel. It just made me feel really good, and I mean, the moment that I found out that I was approved was like probably one of the best moments of my life.
That's really great to
Yeah,
hear.
yeah.
Um, and I mean, certainly, I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, that your business has been successful enough all these years, undocumented and documented, to support you and, people that are dependent on you. I don't know if you have children or, but
Do I have two kids? And yes, I mean, it's given me, like I said before, it's just given me, it's been the probably like I mean, it's been such a great thing for me. I mean, prior to this, I was a nanny, which I loved being, but I didn't really know where I was going prior to starting Bilingual Butterflies. And ever since I did start it, it's given me like it's kept me grounded. It's given me some stability, um, and and so yeah, so it's been a blessing.
that's wonderful. And your two children are American citizens, right?
That's right. Yeah, they're both. I have a son who's 12 and a daughter who's 7.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Uh, I assume they're inspired every day by their mom.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's great.
I
It's
hope
really great.
so.
Um, so what can people do to support immigrant-run businesses right now? I mean, we're in this terrible time. Kudos to you for figuring it out with the virtual stuff.
I know.
But do you have other thoughts for helping other immigrant business owners?
For helping other immigrant business owners. I'm really blessed that I was able to take my business from in person to online. I know that, businesses like nail salons and other services aren't able to do so. I would say, just so wait, is my advice for the immigrant business owner or for both?
Or how can I think both? I think it's both
Okay,
for the immigrant business owner and for people who want to support immigrant-run businesses. I think both
sure.
things. Yeah,
Okay, so for the business owner, I would say, hey, listen, just keep pushing. Try to get creative. Come up with different ways that you can take your business online. Even if it's not online, try to just get creative with the ways that you're offering your services. And then for people that want to support immigrant-run businesses, I would say visit almost anywhere in Philadelphia. I mean, Philadelphia is full of immigrants. If you go up Fifth Street in North Philly, you can find tons of stores and shops and places that are run by immigrants. So just go there, visit them, order stuff from them, see what they're offering, and support them that way.
that's great. Um, I was curious, and now I lost my train of thought. I had something when you were saying about keep pushing through. Oh yes, if you ran into any troubles when you went remote, did you have any clients or kids who didn't have access to Chromebooks or computers
Yeah,
or Wi-Fi?
we did. So because we work with the public school system, as you know, they were kind of in limbo for a while there because they didn't know necessarily what to do with the kids that can't afford a computer or just don't have access to internet. And so they did at some point distribute, I think it was 50,000 Chromebooks. Um, so once they did that, we were able to offer our online program for them as well. But prior to that, it was a challenge. I mean, I was still doing like free online classes for anybody that was, interested in taking a Spanish lesson. But I wasn't really able to support those students during the time that they didn't have computers until after. Um, but now we do communicate with them. We try to offer them programs once a week. So we're seeing them just as much as we were prior to COVID.
That's really great. I know it's something just a little bit off topic, but related. You know, how HISPA has been very concerned about immigrants being left out of the relief packages and all of the variety of things that are available to help people that are suffering. What we have discovered is that most of the information and resources or information about the resources are available online, which of course doesn't help anyone who doesn't have access to computers or Wi-Fi, which
Yeah,
most of vulnerable Philadelphia, has that problem. So we've been approaching funders to try to, and have been somewhat successful, so I'm proud of that, to try to purchase and deliver Chromebooks and get our clients onto Wi-Fi and do digital literacy lessons with them.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
should
And so that's
definitely, me
right.
and you should definitely chat after because I would
Mhm.
love to hear like what you guys are doing and if there's anything that we can do as well.
Yeah, no, that's great. But it's good to hear that when the district, did finally distribute that enabled you to continue with the lessons, which is really great.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah. So, I guess I want to just end with one last question, which will be a very open-ended one. Is there anything that you want to share about the experience of running a business, opening a business, about COVID-19, any of those things that we haven't shared yet?
well, I I mean, I don't have any specific things to share. I do realize that it is a challenging time for so many people on so many different levels. But I think that, we just have to come together and try to push through because it looks like hopefully there is a light under at the end of this tunnel. And who knows? I mean, we might all come out of this like brand new people, with new ideas, new things, new development, things we've learned, things we've been able to do during this crisis. So there are some positive things to it all. It's not all negative. I think you just have to shift your focus and be able to see some of the positive things, even when they're not so clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your inspiring answers and your inspiring work. It's really terrific. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. So, time is a constant issue in this pandemic.
That's another issue.
Right, exactly. But for all of those who sent questions and we didn't get a chance to answer, they'll be answered in the comments below. And we hope you'll stay tuned and join us for Highest Pennsylvania's next Ask Me Anything in early June. As always, you can learn more about how to support DACA recipients, asylum seekers, and other immigrants and refugees at www.highestpa.org. And you can find Yesenia's business, her website, and ability to contact her and sign up for lessons on our Facebook page. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.